Alright, so today's video is all about one question that I get all the time from different photographers, and that question is, how do I keep my business organized? So over the past couple of years, my business has grown exponentially, and it could not be possible without having everything organized on the back end to make sure that I am serving my clients as best as I can during their entire experience. I truly believe that having systems in place in your business is going to help you serve your clients really, really well. So I wanted to take you behind the scenes of the number one tool that I use in my business to keep it organized. So I use a software called Asana. It's essentially a project management tool, and I use the free version of it. So it's not something that I pay for every single year. I feel that I can do everything that I need to with their free plan, and I love it because they have their own app. You can also access it on your phone, or you can use just the desktop version in your internet browser. So I use Asana. I'll have the name down here. And so today I'm going to take you behind the scenes of exactly how I use Asana. I essentially use three main boards within it. So if you've heard of Trello and how it's a board and you can kind of have like cards on it at the same time, Asana is super, super similar. The reason why I started using Asana over Trello is because Asana lets you look at all of your projects and your tasks in different formats. So they let you look at things as if it's a board with little cards or like little sticky notes on each board, or you can look at it in list format, which is really helpful sometimes, or you can look at it in calendar view. So you can flip-flop between all three, and I really like the ease and the ability to do that. Another reason why I switched to Asana over Trello is because Asana, with the free plan, allows you to assign yourself little subtasks of projects and put an individual due date on those subtasks without having to pay for a paid version of the application. The three main boards that I use are my business headquarters board, my client board, and my marketing board. So stay tuned for each one because I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you my computer screen of exactly how they're organized within my business for each one of these three boards that I use. If you're looking to place systems within your own photography business, you have to check out my masterclass. It's totally free. It's a 45-minute training on exactly how I organized my business and my systems to exponentially grow within my first year and go full-time within my photography business in less than 1 year. So I break down three key systems that I use and exactly how you can implement them within your business today. So you can go to manaliphotography.com/class or check for the link in the description below. It's a really awesome free class, and so many students have gotten so much out of it. So I hope you'll check that out. So diving right in, like I mentioned, the first board that I'm going to cover is called my business headquarters board. I call it my Biz HQ board, which is really fun. This board keeps all of the overall information that I need about my brand. So it has things like my yearly and my quarterly goals listed on it. It has things like my brand information, so my color palette, like the hex codes if I need to take them for anything, my bio, links to headshots, and it also has things like brand voice, brand descriptors, anything like any information related to my brand, like my logo files are there, my fonts are there. That is all kept within this board. I also keep things like information on all of the products and services that I offer so that I can quickly grab them. My bio if I need to share it with anyone else and use it for anything. And I also keep all of my financial info, so links to paying things like my quarterly estimated taxes and like my bank numbers and stuff like that, just so that I have one place where I have all of the really key information about my business in one place. It's essentially my home base to keep my entire business organized from a really high level. This is also where I go to break down the quarterly projects and goals that I have within my business, and then make sure that I'm keeping track with that as the quarter progresses. So now I'll take you behind the scenes so that you can see exactly what that looks like. So keep watching for a little screen recording right here. This headquarters board. As you can see, I kind of play around with different ways that I have it organized. So right now I kind of have my goals listed in one list, and then for February I have the specific things that I'm focusing on, as well as a list kind of for what I want to tackle for quarter one. I do keep all of my information for my services and products, but I try to work off of
kind of promoting one type of service or product every single quarter. So that's why you'll see this says like Q2. This is also Q2, and then this is like kind of Q3 and Q4. For me, this is just how it's easy to break things down. But you could also just have like all of your services and products listed within one list. And so as you can see, I kind of keep track of what goals I have, like my yearly goals, long-term goals here, and then each card is kind of like for one specific service and has a breakdown of everything and has like information about it, and then like tasks that I have to do as well, kind of organized, as you can see here. I also, towards the end of this, towards the end of this, have my list of brand information that I mentioned. So I have core values listed out. I just realized I spelled that wrong. Links to headshots, a link to my copy bank, which I just moved over to a Google spreadsheet, color palettes, so like hex codes, and my mood board and logo and all of that good stuff. So I also keep track of testimonials here, like personality descriptions and strengths, and so anything that related to my brand is really going to be very easily accessible within this one list. And then I also have my weekly batch schedule and kind of my like routines listed here so that I can very easily have them ready to access and kind of like just have them set to a due date for whenever I need them next. And as I mentioned, I also have a card here that has my financial info that's really quick, easy grabs. I won't show that since it's personal info. This has been really helpful to have my like Zoom call link easily accessible as well. All the courses that I take, I keep my notes in here and passwords and affiliate links and stuff like that. So as you can see, I have this kind of tailored to how my brain works best, but you can kind of take this concept and run with it. It is really great because if you will go up here and type, you can kind of search across all of your boards and tasks really easily. So this is how I have my business headquarters board set up.
All right, the second board that I use extensively is called my clients board. So this sounds exactly like what it might seem. It's a board that keeps all the information about my clients all in one place. I usually break this board down into different sections. So I have one section that has all of my workflow templates, depending on which type of client that they are. So if they're like a branding client, I have a branding specific workflow. For weddings, I have a wedding specific workflow. So that list really keeps all of that information. And then I kind of break it out. So I have one section that tracks all of my inquiries. So clients that I need to follow up with and like get to the process of like booking with them. I have another that is my portraits and engagement sessions. And then I have one that's just my current wedding. So current weddings for this year and any weddings booked for the upcoming year as well. So for me, each client gets a specific card that has all the information about that one wedding, let's say. So in the description, I keep things like phone numbers of my clients, addresses if I need to access it, a link to the HoneyBook project space for that client so I can easily access everything within HoneyBook for them. And I keep any key information, so like how many hours of coverage, whether or not I need to find a second photographer or not, and things like that just within the description of the card. And so that card's due date is going to be that wedding client's wedding day for me. And then within that card, I also have subtasks that are each part of my photography workflow. So I have one for like inquiry and onboarding, one for like their engagement session, and that one's due date is just their engagement session's due date. And then I have a subtask that's all on wedding prep, so everything that I need to do before I show up to shoot their wedding day, one that's the same day as their wedding, and then one that's like their final gallery and delivery section. So all of my workflow is really broken out into these subtasks, and I can assign all of these tasks to me and give them specific dates so I know exactly when I need to do what for all of my clients. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes so you can see my computer screen to see exactly how I have this laid out.
So this is a look behind the scenes of my clients board. As I mentioned, I have different lists. So I have, this is all of the templates that I have, inquiries that I'm keeping track of, portrait sessions and engagement sessions, any wedding albums that I have in the works, as well as all of my weddings. So the workflows part of this is super helpful because whenever I have a new wedding, I can kind of just go here and grab this template and just make a duplicate of this, and then type out like Erin and Sam's wedding day. and it already has all of the tasks that I need and who's assigned to them. So as you can see, I have all the different subtasks for the different parts of like the entire wedding process, and I can go in, and when it's time to work after their engagement session, I can just make sure I go through and check all of these off as I go so that I never miss a step for a client. So that's a little look behind the scenes of my client board. And if you want to get a hand on any of the workflows that I have, I actually have this as a shop item that you can check out at manaliphotography.com/shop, and it'll really break down every single part of my wedding and my portrait workflow for you if you want an easy to swipe version of that.
All right, the third and final board that I use a ton is called my marketing map. So this is just a board that has all of my marketing content and allows me to visually see when everything is going out. And so that I can tell, okay, like this Instagram post is going out on Thursday, this blog post is going out on Tuesday, and it has all the associated workflows with it as well. So again, kind of just like my clients board, I have like a template for each type of content that I would create. So for this YouTube episode, I have a workflow that's specific to YouTube. If I have just a blog post, I have a blog post workflow template. And this is where I keep my copy bank, which is essentially just a ton of ideas for content that I could create so that every time I go to sit down and create something, I'm not starting from scratch and I don't have to like come up with a topic off the top of my head. I can just pull from that copy bank, which already has ideas and experiences and memories that I can somehow relate back to my business. So this board, I generally keep it in the calendar view so that I can see what content I have coming up, if I need to plan for which content to be going out every single week. And I also have a tagging system so that I can see if something is red, that means that I haven't created it yet. If it's orange, it's in progress. If it's yellow, then it needs to be scheduled out. And then if it's green, it has been scheduled out and it's good to go and posted. So I work off of this board every single quarter, and every single quarter at the beginning, I'll go through and pull topic ideas and then assign them to different like dates every single week. And then each month I work on batch creating all of that content and going through the workflows that are listed in Asana. And then every single week I'm kind of just like reviewing that content, making sure it's like good to go and hitting publish on it. So I use this board every single quarter, month, and week really just to make sure that I am actively marketing my business organically with the content that I'm creating that's relevant to my clients. So again, I'm going to take you behind the scenes so that you can see exactly what this looks like for me.
So here is a look at the marketing map or my marketing board that I have. I'm primarily toggling between list, like I mentioned, and calendar view, so I will just show you what that looks like for me. Again, here I have general info. I do have a virtual assistant that kind of helps me out with some of the content creation and scheduling, so she's actively on this board. And then I have templates for each of the different types of content that I mentioned. So if I have a wedding blog post, that's going to be using this specific workflow that I have, versus if I have a podcast interview, it'll be using this info. And as you can see, me and my virtual assistant are tagged for specific tasks within that workflow. So I kind of have it scheduled so that things that Sarah, my VA, is going to schedule out, things that I need to edit, things that I need to write or record, as well as the emails that I have going out to my list and Instagram posts. So I primarily will plan my posts, like my Instagram posts and my emails, using this calendar view. And like I mentioned with the tagging system, this post is good to go. And I can easily change the tag for it by just clicking here and saying need image or need image and the caption, etc., and just keeping track of what I have content created for versus what I need to go in and actually like write. So this one does not have a caption, so I need to go in and do that. So that's a really easy way that I keep track of what is in progress, what I need to work on, and so that I can actively market my business every single week.
All right, a last bonus tip for you. So I primarily will keep Asana on the view that shows me my tasks. So like I mentioned, for every single card, you can make subtasks and you can assign that card or that subtask to yourself or to anyone else who's on your team, and then give yourself or your team members a specific due date. So when I go in every single week, I'll make sure that I have my tasks laid out for the entire week. So you can look at your own tasks in like a monthly or now a weekly view. I usually use the monthly view. Every single month at the beginning of the month, I'll kind of look over like, okay, what am I doing this entire month? Do I need to assign myself certain tasks throughout the month to make sure I'm making progress on my quarterly goals? Every single week, I'll take a look at my schedule and make sure that I know which tasks I'm trying to do on which days. And this also allows me the flexibility every single day. If there's something that I didn't get done, I can easily either push it to the next day or push it to the next week and figure out, okay, like next Wednesday, I don't have that much on my plate, so I'm going to tackle the rest of this task next Wednesday because I have the time and capacity to do so then. So every single day, I am really just going in and working off of my tasks that I see for that day. That way I don't have to sit down at my desk every single day and think to myself like, ooh, what should I do today? I kind of already have an idea and a game plan going into each day so that every single day I can kind of just like focus on whatever it needs to I can just focus on whatever it is that I need to do. And at the end of each day, I will wrap the day up by just looking at what I was able to accomplish that day within Asana and then making sure I know exactly what I have on my plate for the next day. And if I need to move those tasks around, that's what I do during my shutdown routine at the end of the day. So that's a comprehensive look of how I use Asana within my business to keep it super simple and organized. If you want more tips on how to put systems in place in your photography business so that you can triple your income, be sure to check out that masterclass that I mentioned. The link is down in the description below, and it is an incredible free masterclass for all of you guys just to learn exactly how you can also grow your business monumentally this year. So super excited for you guys to check that out. If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and hit subscribe and the bell next to it so you get to see every single video that drops every single week. Some of them are podcast style episodes with guests, and some of them are solo episodes just like this. So if you have a topic that you really want covered, be sure to drop it down in the comments below. I would love to record something that's very specific to your question. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.
If you loved this episode, be sure to check out my free masterclass for photographers to help you book out your wedding photography business this upcoming year. I chat through 3 key tips that you can start implementing today to confidently raise your prices and book those dreamy clients. You can sign up at manaliphotography.com/class, CLASS. I'll see you inside.